One of these men is the world's champion racing car driver. What is your name, please?
My name is Jack Brabham.
My name is Jack Brabham. My name is Jack Brabham.
Only one of these people is the real Jack Brabham. The other two are imposters. And we'll try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Kitty Carlisle, Donna Michi, and Polly Bergen. On to Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and good evening, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Dristan, decongestant cough medicine. Stops coughing due to colds or bronchial irritation. Dristan, decongestant cough medicine. Panel, will you please open your envelopes and take out your affidavit cards and follow along as I read from this first affidavit. I, Jack Brabham, have been driving an international racing competition only since 1955. During that time, I have won the Grand Prix races of England, France, Holland, Monte Carlo, Portugal, and Belgium. For the past 2 years, I have held the title World Champion Racing Car Driver. Signed, Jack Brabham. You heard, as did I when I read it. These three stalwart and capable-looking gentlemen, all claiming to be Jack Brabham, world's champion racing car driver. And let's begin this first round of questioning tonight with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. I'll ask number one. Brabham, is that correct, sir?
Brabham.
Brabham. Can you tell me where Linwood King races his car?
Linwood King? No, I'm afraid not.
You don't know. Number two, could you tell me what is the nature of the fuel used for competition racing?
In this case, it's aviation fuel, 130 octane.
130 octane. Number three, what is, previous to your start in the racing field, what was the nature of most fuel used for racing the high-powered cars?
It was mainly alcohol fuels.
Thank you. Number one, what does a shaved head do for an engine in a racing car?
It increases the flow of the gases through and increases the performance.
Thank you. Number two, could you tell me the nature of the tread on the tires of a racing car, high-speed racer?
Well, it's a tread configuration that increases your traction on a corner.
Thank you.
Kitty.
Number one, where is Monza?
In Italy.
In Italy?
Yes.
Number two, there is a Monza type race being held in France. Where is it held?
Not in France that I know of.
Do you know number three?
You're not mixing that up with Le Mans, are you?
No. Number one, do you know?
No, I don't think it's in France.
Number two, can you tell me, do you drive alone when you race?
Always.
Always. Number three, where is your assistant, the man that helps you in case anything goes wrong?
A mechanic, you mean? He's
Yeah.
in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
In the pit area.
In the pit area. Number one, where is Targa Florio?
That's also in Italy.
In Italy. Number two, when you have an accident, which heaven forfend,
Yes.
Who comes to your assistant first?
Usually the person who's closest to the accident.
Okay, Donna Michi, please.
Number three, why do European drivers not drive at Monza any longer?
European drivers or British drivers?
European.
Well, European drivers do drive at Monza.
Number one?
Oh, yes. Every year.
Number two, how many points per race in the championship standings?
For first place, 8 points.
And for number three, how many for second?
6.
Number one, what is the name of the great Argentinian racer, now retired?
Fangio, Jean-Manuel Fangio.
Number two, would you describe the course in Florida to me?
Sebring.
Yes.
Yes, it's a 5.2-mile circuit.
On what? What is it on?
It's on an abandoned airstrip and public roads.
Number three, what is the name of the Spaniard that was killed in Italy about 2 years ago?
Deportigo.
Number one, what is the difference between 1-liter and 2-liter motors?
It's a question of size of the cylinders.
What, in speed, how much?
No, in the region of 8 to 10 miles an hour,
Also
possibly.
in the region of Polly Bergen. Polly?
Well, I don't know whether they're giving right answers or not, but I never saw three men answer so many questions.
Matter of fact, I never heard one man ask so many.
No, I can only say either all three of them are drivers, which is possible because they cheat terribly on the show. Or they have three of the brainiest fellows I ever saw. They're coming up with answers like this. Now, if I only knew whether they were right or not, I'd be okay. Number three, when you're driving a racing car in Europe, which side of the car is the steerer on?
The center. The center of the motor car. They are single-seat racing cars.
What year did Gordon Ord hold the world's champion racing driving thingamajiggy? 1955 and 1956?
Well, it must have been before I was born. I've never heard of him.
Number one, could you tell me?
That's all we
It
have
wasn't
time for.
1955 or 6.
I beg your pardon?
Certainly wasn't 55 or 6.
All we have time for, I'm sorry to say. Of course, you didn't make it clear whether you meant just the regular thingamajiggy or the grand thingamajiggy, Polly. However, it's time for you to mark your ballots now. Will you do so, please? Without consultation, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And, of course, the team of challengers will receive the usual $250 for every incorrect vote. All set? Ballots all marked all the way down the line? Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, in view of the fact that they answered so beautifully, this should be the way you vote. Right? But I did vote for number 3. I found some discrepancies in the answers of 1 and 2. I always hate to say that, because then if you're wrong, you're crazy, right? Okay, I just think it's number 3. I think it's number 3.
Kitty.
I voted for number 1. I think they're all Jack Brabham. But I think if they're not, one of them is, and the other 2 are his helpers, the fellow that got there the quickest. I voted for number 1.
Thank you. And Don?
Oh, this is a pure guess on my part. I voted for number 2, and I'm beginning to think I'm incorrect in voting this way because it seems to me that in the championships, it can't add up if 8 is the number of points given for first place. I think it's too large, but I voted for number 2 anyway.
Polly.
Well, I voted the way Tom did.
Make a stand. Make a stand. Pick 1, 2,
But
or 3.
I knew you'd be nasty about it, so I voted for number 1. I know absolutely nothing about racing car driving, but I must say that they're phenomenal. Right or wrong, they're just phenomenal.
All right, with that tribute in mind, we've had all our votes in, and we will see whether that tribute has paid its own self off by making the panel right or wrong. And you check yourselves if you're playing at home with us, which we hope you are, as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the real world's champion racing driver. Will the real Jack Brabham please stand up? Thank you, sir. I must add my 2 cents worth to what Polly has said, too. I think this is
so many answers.
this is the finest, one of the finest challenging panels we've ever had.
It's all done by mirrors, isn't it?
All done by mirrors. I don't believe it. Yeah, really sensational. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
Yes, my name is Jerry Seymour, and at the moment I don't do anything because I'm an out-of-work radio commentator, oblique stroke, master of ceremonies, oblique stroke, in anything you like, really, but they don't like my accent over here.
And number 2, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Julian Apley, and I'm a writer at the Darcy Advertising Company.
Well, gentlemen, in checking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a grand total of $750 from Dristan. And, of course, a gift package of all the fine products from the makers of Dristan. And we thank you so much for adding to our fun tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night and good luck to you. Now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Judy Delp. My name is Judy Delp. My name is Judy Delp.
Follow along once again, if you will, with your affidavit cards, panel. I, Judy Delp, am a physical education major at Syracuse University. I won a scholarship for my baton twirling. I twirl between the halves of Syracuse football games. In competition, I have won more than 50 medals and 175 trophies for both single and double twirling. I am the 1960 National Baton Twirling Champion. Signed, Judy Delp. Three equally pretty and adept young misses, all claiming to be Judy Delp, National Baton Twirling Champion. Panel, may we start this round with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, would you let me see your hands, please? Like this. Yeah, that's right. Number 2. Number 1. Where do you put your thumb, number 3, when you do this?
On the inside of the baton.
And is that what makes it go around? Because I've tried it, and I can't seem to get it past my thumb.
All the fingers are used, actually, and the wrist.
But you try to get rid of your thumb first. What does it mean here, number 2? Single and double twirling.
Well, single twirling is with one baton, double twirling is with two.
At once?
At once.
Don Amici.
Number 1, what resort near Syracuse features name bands?
I have no idea.
Number 2, could you answer
I have no
that?
idea.
I beg your pardon?
I have no idea.
Number 3?
No, I don't know.
Number 1, how long ago did Brown play with Syracuse?
I think it was 2 years.
2 years ago?
I think.
Would you agree with that, number 2?
Yes.
You too? Number 2, who is Brown with now?
Jimmy Brown, I don't know. He's with a pro football.
Number 3?
I don't know.
1? Boy. Number 1, what is the name of their great halfback at present?
Ernie Davis.
Number 2, who broke their string of victories this year?
Pittsburgh and Army.
Polly?
And Army.
Number 3, there is a very well-known baton twirler from Tennessee. I think she's from Knoxville, but I may not be right. From Tennessee, I know. Do you know her name? Been in a lot of competitions.
No, I don't think so.
Number 1, do you know?
I think it's Claudette Riley.
Number 2?
Sandy Wood.
Number 3, in baton twirling, when you throw it up in the air, how do you manage to catch it when it's coming down, moving?
I think you ought to take lessons, really, Paul.
It would certainly help, there's no question about that. Tom, what about your lesson? Question.
My daughter does it.
I'll ask number 2. Do you know Grover Dale, a baton twirler of some note? Okay. Number 1, what's the matter here? What's going on? Number 1, do you know the Post March?
Yes.
Who wrote it?
I don't know.
Do you know the whole name of it?
Washington Post?
Thank you. Number 2, do you know who wrote that?
No, I don't.
Do you know, number 2, how many bars?
How many bells are ringing? And that's all the time we have, but it is time to cast your ballots. If you will, please, so mark them, panel, without consultation. And vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody voted? All the way down the line? Okay, Tom, for whom this time?
Who'd you vote for?
Number 1.
That's who it is.
You think it's number 1?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was for a while until number 2 corrected her on the name of the famous baton twirler from Tennessee. Now, knowing you, Polly, there may not really be any famous baton twirler.
Well, no, there is a famous baton twirler from Tennessee, but I don't remember her name.
Well, I knew I could count on you anyway.
Number 1 is your vote. Kitty, yours.
Well, I voted for number 1. Number 3 has very long fingernails, and she couldn't have gotten rid of the fingernails and the thumb at the same time. And number 1 looks healthy enough to be a physical education major.
Don.
I voted for number 2, and I really wish I had an honest-to-goodness good reason for doing this, Bud, but I haven't one.
Just a hunch.
Your vote, guess.
Polly.
I'm sure it's number 1, but number 2, you see, I felt the same way you did, Kitty, about the fingernails, and number 2 had the shortest nails. And number 1's nails were medium long, number 3's were very long, and number 2, There is a very well-known, and she's going to be very hurt because I'm from Tennessee, but I don't remember her name. Baton twirler from Tennessee. And I don't remember her name. I thought maybe I might recognize if one of them said it, but I didn't recognize either name.
Polly, would you mind?
Probably number 3.
Would you mind running through that again for us, please? I think we got it all. Anyway, the votes are in, such as they are. Let's see which one of these 3 ladies is the real baton twirling champion. So will the real Judy Delp please stand up? I think nothing would be better than, since Kitty needs a lesson in twirling, that we should ask you to come out and give us a little demonstration of championship twirling. Would you please? As close as you'll ever come to poetry in motion, wasn't it?
That's beautiful.
Just beautiful.
My daughter works hours to try to do that.
She has no thumbs. That's all.
Yeah.
Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Linda Dillaway, and I'm a writer for Mark Magazine in Norwalk, Connecticut.
Never twirled a baton in your life, huh? And number 3, your real name and what you do.
My name is Carol Wanick. I'm an ice skater from New York City.
Carol Wanick is being unduly modest. She's not only an ice skater, she is former national women's figure skating champion. Number 3, Carol Wanick. Well, our score tells us that there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Dristan, and of course the usual gift package of fine products from the makers of Dristan. Thanks so much, and thank you for that beautiful exhibition. Good night and good luck. God bless you. Panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Harold Arlen.
My name is Harold Arlen.
My name is Harold Arlen.
Again, the affidavit cards, if you will, please, panel, and follow along. I, Harold Arlen, was the world's first full-time radio announcer. In the early 1920s, I worked for the first commercial radio station in existence. I announced the first broadcast of a professional baseball game and the first broadcast of a college football game. I was the first to introduce on radio such people as Babe Ruth, Will Rogers, Marshall Foch, and William Jennings Bryan. Signed, Harold Arlen. Three gentlemen who began working in a medium close to our hearts, which later became television. The first radio announcer they all claimed to be, Harold Arlen. So may we start this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, where is WLW?
I believe in Cincinnati.
And number 1, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Number 3, where is KXLA?
I don't know.
Number 2, do you know?
I do not know.
Number 1, when did the Green Hornet first go on radio?
I couldn't tell you.
Number 2, could you tell me?
Oh, about 1921.
Number 3, do you agree with number 2 on that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Number 2, who had the lead in the Green Hornet?
That I don't recall.
You don't remember. Number 1, what radio show has long been one of the top shows out of Nashville, Tennessee?
I couldn't tell you.
Number 2, could you tell me?
I couldn't say.
Tom Poston.
Number 3, could you tell me in announcer's parlance, what is a wow?
I don't know.
Do you know what it means, number 3, to wow in?
No.
Number 1, could you tell me 2 kinds of microphones?
Well, in the old times, in the 20s?
Well, I guess almost any 2 kinds.
Well, there's the old tomato can.
That's
the
really going
The
back.
other one was the old telephone instrument.
Thank you. Number 3, could you tell me who is Don Dunphy?
I don't know him.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Who's the great, number 3, who is the great racetrack announcer? The announcer of the races, the great man from the past.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Kitty?
Number 1, what is Marshall Foch's first name? Number 2, can you tell me the sobriquet under which William Jennings Bryan was known?
Under the monkey trial.
No, his sobriquet, his sort of, the nickname they gave him.
No, I don't know.
Number 3, what famous phrase did Will Rogers always start his talks with?
All I know is what I read in the newspaper, I believe.
Number 1, it says you started here in 1920. Of course, this is so far before my time. I hardly know what to ask you. But when you first began, what station did you begin? Where did it say? It doesn't say where you started. Where did you start?
East Pittsburgh.
Oh, in Pittsburgh. Ah. Did it say
Don,
where?
number 2, do you know the first name of Amos and Andy, what they were originally called?
No, I don't recall.
Number 1, who was the first famous network sports announcer?
McNamee.
Number 3, what is Clem McCarthy famous for?
I believe boxing, announcing boxing bouts.
Number 2, who announced Amos and Andy originally?
Jay Reynolds.
Number 2,
I guess that's it. It is time now to mark your ballots, all of you young people who weren't born when this gentleman was on the air, you understand. So please mark them and vote without consultation for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody set? Ready, set, go. Time is short, and here we go. Tom, for whom?
Well, I thought for a while that it was number 3. I don't know if you can see this. It's number 1. I voted for number 1 because I couldn't seem to get any satisfactory answers out of number 3 about the things I knew something about, and number 1 did answer a few of my questions.
Kitty.
I voted for number 3 purely on the timbre of his voice when he had said, "My name is Harold Arlen." It had a kind of voice that I felt would be strong and resonant for radio.
Okay, Don.
I voted for number 1. Clem McCarthy was famous for horse racing, of course, and Will Hayes was the name of the first radio announcer for Amos and Andy, which 2 missed, I thought, so I don't know.
Polly.
I wish I was dead.
Well, take a guess. We haven't much time. Number 2, she voted for. No
We're
reason.
all covered tonight.
You just wish you were dead.
Whatever I said, I'd be wrong.
All right, there we have it. Our minds at least pseudo made up. And our sobriquets on the line. Let's find out who's right, who's wrong, as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the first radio announcer. So will the real Harold Arlen please stand up? You were right. Well done. Well done. All right, let's find out quickly about the other 2 gentlemen. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is William Hewson, and I'm a wine consultant.
Ooh, thank you, sir. And number 2, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is William Toohey. I'm from Troy, New York, and I'm a funeral director.
Now, panel, in case the name Toohey sounds at least a bit familiar to you, this is the father of our Jerry Toohey, who works in the staff of our show. So there you are. In checking up on the score, we find 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 for the second time tonight from Dristan and a gift package of fine products from the makers of Dristan. Thank you, gentlemen. It was fun. Good night and good luck. That's all the time we have for tonight, except we're going to have to say goodbye to Tom Poston for a few weeks. He goes out on the road in a brand new musical called Conquering Hero. And Tom, we not only, I and the panel, they join me, I'm sure, in wishing you the greatest success in the world and a swift and successful trip back to Broadway where you belong and back with us where you belong, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it, panel. So, good night to you all.
Good night, Bud.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier saying good night from Dristan and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Bicidol Powder. To settle acid-upset stomach and relieve acid indigestion. Johnny Olson saying goodnight from To Tell the Truth. This program was pre-recorded.